welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Winnie.
And I'm Mike.
And today our article is called Cape Town, the Mother City Part 1. And of course, I know what this article is about.
Cape Town.
Yes.
The Mother City.
Yep, the Mother City where superheroes get their clothing.
No.
Oh.
No. Definitely no. This is no. Yeah, I know what a cape is, and I know Batman wears one, Superman wears one. I think they just buy that at a cape store in Metropolis or Gotham City. I don't think they go to South Africa, Cape Town, to buy their capes. Although maybe they do. I've never gone shopping with Batman, so I couldn't actually tell you.
In that case, I don't really know what this.
Well, we know it's in South Africa, right? And we know it's near the Cape of Good Hope, right? Which is a cape in this case is not something you wear on your back. I'm sorry. It's like a point of land that sort of connects two oceans. That kind of two big bodies of water. So it's a beautiful city, and if we go there, we could go and see a superhero movie. Would that make you happy?
Okay,
all right.
Okay.
And we'll do many other wonderful things in Cape Town because it is a pretty cool place. It is also, I would say, one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Okay.
They got that whole mountains and ocean and city in between.
You're winning me over. Okay.
Beautiful neighborhoods, great food, lots of nice people,
so far, no capes though.
And penguins.
Okay.
I think they have penguins. You got you with the penguins.
I'm officially back in.
Okay. And I mean the penguins, not the penguin like Batman's enemy. Not that penguin.
I'm still in.
Not that guy. Okay, penguins. Yeah. So we got all that coming up in 2 days. So let's go to Cape Town, and hopefully we'll also find it why it's called the Mother City, because I'm pretty sure my mother's never been there.
I'm gonna fly there.
Okay. You need a cape though. Yeah, we'll get a cape first. The first time I visited Cape Town, I was beyond excited. I journeyed more than 1,000 kilometers from my hometown in the middle of South Africa all the way to the coast to see the Mother City. My first stop was the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, where there are plenty of shops, attractions, and restaurants. After shopping a bit and eating some of the best fish and chips I've ever had, I visited the Two Oceans Aquarium. There were sharks, penguins, and countless fish, but I liked the jellyfish display the most. All right, so yes, we're learning about Cape Town, the Mother City, and I guess between Cape Town, which is sort of the beautiful coastal city, and I think maybe a big commercial, like a business city in South Africa. And then there's, of course, Johannesburg, which is further north inland. That's the capital city where the president and the government is. These are probably the two most well-known and biggest cities in South Africa. So let's find out all about Cape Town.
The first time I visited Cape Town, I was beyond excited. I journeyed more than 1,000 kilometers from my hometown in the middle of South Africa, all the way to the coast to see the Mother City.
Wow, the Mother City. That's a long way.
That is a long way.
1,000 kilometers, and that's still in the same country.
That kind of gives you an idea, how big South Africa is.
Very big, yeah.
Yeah, so we have this word journey, to journey, and it basically means to take a trip or the act of traveling from one place to another. So for example, my friends and I journeyed across Asia together. And safe to say, yeah, this person had to journey 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah, I wonder if they took a plane or drove all that way. That would take many days.
Yeah.
We can also, of course, use journey as a noun. You can take a journey or you can journey. And if you're journeying, it's probably a long distance. So you would probably be going many kilometers, hundreds or even thousands. A kilometer is a unit of measurement of distance. So how far something is something you would use kilometers to measure or to express. It's 1,000 meters. So a meter, of course, is about that big. So take 1,000 of those. That's a kilometer. I think most people walk around 3 kilometers an hour. I think I read that somewhere. And of course, cars on the road drive around 40 or 50 kilometers. So 1,000 kilometers, you get the idea that that's pretty far. It says here, Jack lives 3 kilometers from his school. So it might take him around an hour to walk there, but of course, much faster by bus or car or bicycle. All right, so we are finally in Cape Town, the mother city, and the author, the writer, goes on to say, my first stop was the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, where there are plenty of shops, attractions, and restaurants. That sounds like a very good place to go for your first stop. When we say a first stop, it's not like on a bus or a train. It's just sort of like the first place that I went, the first location, the first tourist site that I went to after, checking into my hotel and doing all that stuff. Exactly. But the first place she went was this Victoria and Alfred waterfront.
Right, and so just like you were saying, that's the first stop. The first thing she wants to do off her to-do list was this, to see some attractions. And what is an attraction? And that basically is a place or thing that brings in a lot of attention from tourists or the people visiting some place. So for example, the old church is the town's main attraction. Or let me give you another example. A lot of people come to Taipei to see this building called Taipei 101.
Never heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's a really small building.
Okay.
So that's a type of attraction. Okay, so continuing on. After shopping a bit and eating some of the best fish and chips I've ever had, I visited the Two Oceans Aquarium.
Really?
I mean, not me, the author.
I know, but that seems mean.
Yeah.
Eating fish and chips and then going to look at fish.
That's brutal.
I don't know. That just seems a little cruel. But anyways, I've done that before too. In the Vancouver Aquarium, great fish and chips. But back to the article. What would we find in an aquarium? Well, an aquarium, of course, is like a zoo for fish. So there were sharks, penguins, and countless fish, except the ones I ate. Ooh. But I like the jellyfish display the most. So yeah, it's a really cool aquarium. I love going to aquariums, not just to have the fish and chips, but to look at the fish, and you'll see sharks, you'll see octopuses, you'll see everything in between, and they can be really, really great.
I think I'll just stick to the chips.
You don't want to have calamari? Squid, yum, fresh, straight out of the tank.
Oh my. Well, anyway, I'm excited. That's horrible.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what else she gets up to, because I actually personally would love to go to Cape Town one day.
I do. I would too. It looks absolutely wonderful. All right.
Well, we're coming up with a break. Do you want to go right now?
We'll have to do that. Let's go after.
Okay.
Well, we have to go. We have tomorrow. The day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。在这2天的课程中，我们要跟着作者造访南非的开普敦 （Cape Town）。那么 Mike 老师提到，开普敦是沿海城市，南非的另外一个城市约翰尼斯堡则是在内陆。那我们补充一下 ，coastal 就是 coast 后面加上 al 构成形容词，可以形容沿海的、海岸的。那么 inland 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 可以形容是内陆的、内地的。那作者一开始提到说，第一次造访开普敦，他非常兴奋。他从南非中部的家乡出发，行驶1000多公里，一路来到海岸边来看这座城市。那么他的第一站是维多利亚阿尔弗雷德码头广场，那边有很多的商店、景点还有餐厅。他在那边逛一下，然后有吃到最好吃的炸鱼薯条，之后又去参观了两洋水族馆。好，单字 journey 它可以当动词或名词表达旅行。Kilometer 则表示公里，它的字首 KILO 这部分表示1000的意思。在解释这个测量单位时 ，Mike 老师有用到 measurement 这个字，就是在 measure 后面加上 ment。那么 measurement 可以表达测量或是测量结果。下一个单字 attraction， 它表示景点、名胜或者是吸引力。刚刚说到水族馆 ，Mike 老师有提到 octopus 就是章鱼 ，squid 则是鱿鱼。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，那这边我们要介绍的是 where 当关系副词，表示在某个地点，那可以引导非限定用法的形容词子句来补述说明先行词，前面必须加逗号。例如 ，Lisa wants to open a coffee shop in Elan where she was born and brought up。 Lisa 想要在宜兰开一间咖啡店，那是她出生长大的地方。好，那 where 也可以引导限定用法的形容词子句来修饰先行词，这时候前面不需要加逗号。例如 The bear was trapped in a cage where it could barely move. 那只熊被困在一个它几乎无法动弹的笼子里。好，那我们接回到课文中。
Next, I hopped on a boat that took me around the harbor. I had great views of Table Mountain and the lively activity on the waterfront. On my second day, I decided to see Cape Town from a different perspective, so I went to the top of Table Mountain. Many hiking trails lead there, but it is much faster and easier to ride the cable car. However, it doesn't matter how you arrive because the view of the city below is the main event. It is a sight that I will never forget.
Welcome back from the break. Let's continue on with the article.
Absolutely. Next, it says, next, I hopped on a boat that took me around the harbor. Of course, yes, Cape Town is on the water. It's on the coast of South Africa, right there at the southern tip. And so they will have a lovely harbor. A harbor, of course, being basically a protected area where boats can stop and park and load and unload. And you can get on a little boat and take a little trip around there. So yes, a harbor, as I said, it's a place on the edge of the water for boats to load and unload, and it will be safe, protected from storms and things like that. Geelong, of course, has a harbor. Kaohsiung has a harbor, and a few other places. We could say, I spent the afternoon walking along the harbor and watching the ships out at sea. Those are always lovely places to go on a nice day. So you had a little boat tour around the harbor. Sounds fun. And from the water, I had great views of Table Mountain and the lively activity on the waterfront. So a lot to see. Like San Francisco or Vancouver, Cape Town is a beautiful mix of mountains and ocean. And Table Mountain is very, very spectacular. It's kind of flat on top.
It really does look like a table.
Yeah, I think it's a mesa or something like that, but it's like a flat-topped hill. And this is very easy to do, apparently, because it says that the author hopped on the boat for the tour. When you hop on something, well, literally, it's kind of like jumping on one leg or on two legs like a rabbit, maybe, a little short little jump. That would be to hop. But we use it much more frequently because I don't hop very often in my life.
Oh,
but
really?
I would hop in a taxi or hop on the bus to go somewhere. It means to get into a way of transportation, a form of transportation that's easy, quick, convenient, and cheap. You know, I wouldn't say, oh, I hopped on an airplane to Japan last weekend, unless I'm really rich. But I could say, oh, I hopped on a train to Shinju to visit my friend on the weekend, because it's an easy, convenient, quick thing to do. For example, Sally, who is fancy, Sally hopped on a plane and went to Italy.
Right, and maybe she lives in Europe, so it's fine.
Oh, that's possible. But if she lived in Taipei, it would be fancy. She loves the gelato in Milan.
Okay.
You know.
So then the author continues by saying, on my second day, I decided to see Cape Town from a different perspective. So I went to the top of Table Mountain. And of course, perspective just means a different point of view. Many hiking trails lead there, but it is much faster and easier to ride the cable car.
Oh, okay.
And of course, a cable car is, you'll see it in San Francisco. It's kind of like a mix between a bus and a train. And of course, the name comes from the cable that is on top. That is all along the city. There's one cable, and yeah, that's how you kind of get around.
Interesting. And some cable cars actually have a cable under the road that pulls them around as well. It's kind of like an old bus sort of subway, but on the surface of the road. Yeah. It's not many cities have cable cars. So that would be a fun way to ride around. And they're also easy. You can often hop on and off.
Oh, nice use of the word hop.
At any stop there. So that would be a cool way to get around the city and also to get up to the top of Table Mountain in the same way that you would ride that funny special kind of hill climbing train in Hong Kong.
Yep.
Right, to get up to Victoria Peak. And then you get a beautiful view of the city from up there.
And that way you wouldn't have to sweat.
Could be a long walk. However, it says it doesn't matter how you arrive by cable car or walking or take a taxi or whatever. It doesn't matter how you arrive because the view of the city below is the main event.
Understandable.
There it is. Glorious Cape Town and of course, the Atlantic and Indian Oceans kind of spread out before you in the harbor. It is a sight that I will never forget, mainly because I took 500 pictures. While up there.
Exactly. So as the author said, she got a feel of the entire city by being in the city. But of course, that's one way of experiencing it. But when you really want a great view, you got to get to a greater vantage point. So she says, you know what better view than to go from on the top of a mountain?
Yeah, like that tiny little Taipei 101 building you mentioned before.
The small one.
Yeah, the really little one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But that's all we have for today. We'll see you on the next episode.
Okay, how small is it?
It's like I think 101 floors.
Wow.
I don't know.
Millimeters?
作者提到，接着他跳上一艘船，绕了港口一圈，他就有看到桌山 Table Mountain 的美景。那第二天，他决定从不同角度来看看开普敦这个城市，所以他来到桌山的山顶，那边有很多条步道可以抵达，但是搭缆车会更快更轻松。他说，如何到达并不重要，因为下面的城市景观才是主要活动，那是他永远都不会忘记的景象。好，来看单字 hop。Hop 它可以表达快速的跳上或是跳下，那么 hop on 加上名词就可以表达跳上某个交通工具，可能是车啊、船、飞机等等。再看到 harbor， 它是指港口、海港。Mike 老师在解释单字时有提到 unload， 在 load 前面加上 un 这个否定字首，可以表达卸货的意思。好，那老师在讲到桌山的时候有提到 mesa 这个字 ，M-E-S-A，mesa 它表示方山、平顶山。还有用到 spectacular 这个形容词 S-P-E-C-T-A-C-U-L-A-R，spectacular 可以形容壮观的、壮丽的或是令人惊叹的。Winnie 老师在讲到最佳视野的时候，则提到 vantage point。这个 vantage 是拼作 V-A-N-T-A-G-E。那这个用语它是表达有利或是具有优势的位置或是角度。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边要介绍的是 it doesn't matter 加上 WH 疑问词加主词加动词的句型，表示什么什么没关系，无所谓。matter 在这边是当不及物动词用，是指说有关系、要紧。那么 it doesn't matter 后面可以接名词子句去表达什么东西没关系、无所谓。例如 it doesn't matter how you solve the problem， 你如何解决问题无所谓，你只要把它解决掉就好了。好，那么以上这讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The first time I visited Cape Town, I was beyond excited. I journeyed more than 1,000 kilometers from my hometown in the middle of South Africa all the way to the coast to see the mother city. My first stop was the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, where there are plenty of shops, attractions, and restaurants. After shopping a bit and eating some of the best fish and chips I've ever had, I visited the Two Oceans Aquarium. There were sharks, penguins, and countless fish, but I liked the jellyfish display the most. Next, I hopped on a boat that took me around the harbor. I had great views of Table Mountain and the lively activity on the waterfront. On my second day, I decided to see Cape Town from a different perspective, so I went to the top of Table Mountain. Many hiking trails lead there, but it is much faster and easier to ride the cable car. However, it doesn't matter how you arrive because the view of the city below is the main event. It is a sight that I will never forget.
Hey, it's KiWi on the street.
I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie, and can we hurry this up? I'm so hungry.
Well, what do you want to eat today?
IDC, you choose.
Okay, well, we'll go look for something to eat. But we gotta work on our abbreviations first.
Let's work on some abbreviations. Our first one is HBD. What does
Happy
this mean?
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 荷包蛋
Happy birthday.
Okay.
I think it's happy birthday too.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Ding, ding, ding. Very correct. Very good. Okay, we also have, TBF.
To be frankly. To be further.
To be fair.
Together, be friendly.
Together, boyfriend.
Two boyfriend.
Yeah, I think
it's two boyfriends.
Correct.
I think it's three boys.
Three boyfriends.
Whoa, you guys are.
I think that's
smart,
such a good answer.
But you guys are all wrong.
Wow.
It is to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Oh.
Okay. IIRC.
Okay, I'll give you a last hint. If I.
Oh.
If I remember,
Remind.
Oh, so close.
I is if I. If I.
Remember?
For example, you take a test and your teacher says that answer is
Correct.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, very good. What did we learn today?
Let's work on today's abbreviations. Our first one is HBD. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And we'll notice that birthday is actually split into two letters, B and D, so birth and day. So for example, you could say, we all wish you a happy birthday. Then we have our second abbreviation, which is TBF, to be fair. To be fair. And usually in the context, we use it as kind of defending someone or something. So for example, A says, I think Miss Robbins gives us too much homework. And B would then say, well, to be fair, she just wants us to do well on our tests. Then we have our final abbreviation, IIRC. If I remember correctly, if I remember correctly. So for example, you could say, if I remember correctly, you're allergic to shellfish. That's all we have for today. KiWi later.